There's a silence that only midnight knows, not the silence of sleep, but the silence just before a command is heard in heaven. The world is still, but the spirit is wide awake. And in that moment, you are not powerless. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are the commander, and wealth is waiting for your voice. So let me ask you something sacred. Have you ever stood in your room at night, quiet, heart aching, and whispered a prayer so raw that even the angels paused? Not a plea, not a beg, but a command, a spiritual decree from someone who finally remembered who they are. Because midnight isn't when you surrender, midnight is when you rise. Midnight is the hour when Moses parted the sea, when Paul and Silas sang chains off their wrists, when breakthrough moves quietly in the dark and waits for someone bold enough to speak. And I'm here to remind you, you are that someone. If you've been sitting in silence, hoping the universe will read your mind, waiting for signs before taking your place at the table, then let this be your sign. You don't whisper for permission anymore. You command with clarity. You align with divine law, and you shift your finances, not by worry, but by word. Because the word you speak at midnight carries the weight of 1,000 prayers. So tonight, don't talk about how hard it's been. Talk about where you're going. Don't speak the language of delay. Speak the rhythm of release. I want you to say this with me. Not as a wish, not as a hope, but as a royal command to your life, your money, and your world. Say it. I command divine wealth to locate me now. Again, slower. I command divine wealth to locate me now. Feel that. That's not just a sentence. That's a spiritual contract being signed in heaven. It's law. It's done. And from this night forward, we don't wait for money. We don't chase it. We don't ask with shaky hands and lowered heads. We call it forward. Because heaven listens when the aligned speak. Now, before we move on, I want to invite you to do something sacred if you're ready to stop hoping for change and start commanding it by divine law. Subscribe now. This isn't just a channel. This is a spiritual assignment, a library of divine codes being spoken into your life, and you belong here. Every single video is crafted to rewire your money beliefs, refine your identity, and reawaken your spiritual boldness. So, subscribe. You won't just be watching, you'll be activating, because this is just the beginning. The night is still deep, but your command has been sent. And by morning, don't be surprised when doors open that were once sealed shut. You didn't knock, you declared. And now, the shift begins. There's something divine about midnight. It's not a deadline, it's a doorway. A sacred veil lifts, and what once felt unreachable now leans closer. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange pull. When the world goes quiet, and suddenly you're aware of every thought, every fear, every dream. This is not random. This is when heaven listens most closely, because your voice, spoken in faith at midnight, echoes further than you realize. It's not the volume, it's the vibration. You could whisper it with trembling lips or breathe it through tears, and still the universe would say, yes, we heard her. It is done. So tonight, let's do something few dare to do. Let's shift from panic to power, from need to command, from I hope to it is written. You were never meant to suffer your way to abundance. You were meant to speak your way into alignment. Florence Scovel Shinn once said, your word is your wand. She didn't say your effort. She didn't say your hustle. She said your word. Because in spiritual law, word is form. Word is force. Word is currency. And tonight, you're going to spend it wisely. So I want you to say this with the kind of certainty you wish someone had given you when you were young. I release all delay. And I now receive divine financial favor. Say it again, slower. I release all delay. And I now receive divine financial favor. This is not a wish, it is a summons, and heaven responds to clarity. Let me show you what happens when you do this consistently. When you command at midnight, something subtle but supernatural begins. You wake up lighter, not because all the bills disappeared, but because your burden did. Your nervous system resets, your awareness shifts, and suddenly you begin to notice wealth where there once was only worry. You begin to receive answers, not just signs. Opportunities start to present themselves, but they won't look like magic. They'll look like you, finally realizing who you are. That woman who forgot her power, she's gone. That version of you who only ever asked for scraps, she's not allowed in this new chapter, because you're not just surviving midnight anymore, you're commanding it. And there's one more thing I want you to do. Tonight, before you sleep, I want you to clear your space, tidy your nightstand, light a candle, write your command on paper and place it beneath your pillow. You are creating a sanctuary, a physical container for spiritual order. This is more than a habit, it's a ritual, and rituals make space for miracles. Now, let's breathe together. Inhale, command, exhale, release, inhale, truth, exhale, lack. Say this before we close. I am a divine commander of wealth, and what I speak shall be. Say it one more time. I am a divine commander of wealth, and what I speak shall be. Beautiful. Now comment below. What command are you declaring tonight? Let it be written in the comments, as it is already written in spirit. And if this video is shifting something in you, if it's waking up a power that's been quiet too long, tap that subscribe button. This space is a temple, and every subscriber is a builder of divine wealth. You're not just here for advice, you're here for a revolution. Your voice at midnight will change your mornings forever, and this is only just beginning. Let's take it deeper now. You've spoken the command. You've created the ritual. Now it's time to understand why this works. Because when your mind knows the why, your spirit commits with full authority. You see, midnight is not just symbolic, it is strategic. In spiritual timekeeping, midnight is the first breath of a new day, but the world still looks like the night before, and that's the key. Faith is speaking the new, even when it still looks like the old. Let me say that again. Faith is when you command. Even while your circumstances are silent, faith is when you declare wealth. While your bank account still whispers fear. This is the true rewiring of spiritual wealth. Not pretending, but proclaiming. There's something else happening at midnight too. In the hours when the world sleeps, your conscious mind relaxes, and your subconscious becomes more available. This is the fertile soil. This is the inner temple, and this is where your command takes root. So when you speak at midnight, you are not just talking to yourself, you are reprogramming the deepest parts of you, the part that chooses what you believe, what you allow, and what you expect. You're not just saying, I want money. You're saying, I allow money. I command it. I am a match for it. By divine law, it must respond. Now pause and feel that truth, because it's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. When a woman speaks with alignment, the universe rearranges, not because she begged, but because she belonged. I want you to hear this loud and clear. You were never meant to earn your worth. You were meant to own it. This is why your words at midnight matter. Because when you finally start speaking like a woman who knows, heaven sends confirmation in return. Money arrives, ideas land, support appears. Not because you chased it, but because you claimed it. So tonight, we add a new layer. We bring the body into agreement. I want you to place your hand over your heart And repeat this slowly, with rhythm, with reverence. I command financial peace to enter my home, to flood my mind, to soothe my body, to stay. Again, I command financial peace to enter my home, to flood my mind, to soothe my body, to stay. This is not poetry. This is prophecy. You are not just speaking for yourself anymore. You are undoing generations of financial shame. You are interrupting patterns passed down in silence. You are saying what your mother never dared to say, what your grandmother never thought she was allowed to speak. You are saying, enough. It ends with me, and it begins. Right here, right now. Say this with me. I am no longer waiting. I am commanding, and what is mine is already on its way. Yes, now breathe. Come closer now. We're entering the fourth gate, and here we speak to the patterns, because no matter how powerful your words, if your wiring still expects lack, the shift will be delayed. So tonight, we don't just command money, we command the old programming to dissolve. Because here's the truth. You cannot manifest abundance while secretly agreeing with poverty. You cannot call in overflow while still apologizing for wanting more. You cannot receive with grace if you are still carrying guilt. And so, we command release. We command the exit of everything that no longer belongs. Put your hand on your belly, that sacred seat of intuition, the center of knowing. And say this with me slowly. From the center of your being, I release the fear of not enough. I release the shame of wanting more. I release the guilt of receiving. I release the lie that I must suffer to be worthy. Let that settle. Now again, with more authority this time, I release the fear of not enough. I release the shame of wanting more. I release the guilt of receiving. I release the lie that I must suffer to be worthy. You see, this is not just spiritual work. This is ancestral repair. You are undoing not just your beliefs, but the beliefs handed to you by those who were never taught any better. Women who worked twice as hard for half as much and still felt like they owed the world an apology. You are breaking that chain right here, right now, with your words. Let's go even deeper. Let's rewire, not just with declarations, but with decisions. Because the moment you decide, the energy begins to move. So decide now that tonight is different, that this isn't just another midnight wish. This is a divine transaction, a sacred exchange between your soul and the substance of the universe. Say this with me. I decide now. That money obeys me, not because I chase it, but because I command it through alignment. I decide now that every dollar I receive comes clothed in peace, in purpose, in divine timing. I decide now that I no longer shrink, delay, or deny. I receive, I expand, I overflow. Pause. Do you feel that? That isn't imagination. That is the spirit responding. Because when you speak like this, your environment shifts to match your frequency. It's no longer about effort. It's about energy. You're not pushing, you're magnetizing. And the more you stay in this state, this alignment, this divine command, the faster the response. Because tonight, we call it in. We don't wait. We welcome. It's time. You've cleansed. You've declared. You've released. Now we call it in. No more asking. No more waiting. No more someday. This moment is fertile. The air is open. The veil is thin. And your words hold the weight of worlds. So take a breath and speak from your crown. I command wealth to arrive, clothed in grace and glowing with ease. I command new streams of income to awaken, now, not later. I command divine clients, divine payments, divine timing, all to align in my favor. I command every cent I've ever lost to return multiplied, with interest, with favour, with joy. Pause here, breathe that in. Because your words are not floating wishes, they are spiritual instructions. When you speak with certainty, heaven listens. When you command from alignment, angels respond like lightning. You are no longer a beggar at the gates. You are a queen at the table. You don't wait for permission. You make declarations. Say this now. Let it rise from your core. By divine law, all that is mine returns to me. By divine right, all that I need flows to me. By divine timing, I arrive exactly where I belong. And now we amplify. We bring gratitude into the present, not for what's coming, but for what is already on the way. Because when you thank the invisible, it becomes visible. Say it with me. Thank you for the money arriving tomorrow, in the most miraculous ways. Thank you for the message, the call, the surprise, that confirms everything is shifting. Thank you for the alignment I now walk in. Effortless, magnetic, divine. Feel that. Gratitude is a magnetic current. It makes the unseen race toward you. You are not hoping anymore. You are expecting. You are not pleading anymore. You are preparing. You are not doubting anymore. You are commanding. And when you live from that vibration, the entire field of reality begins to obey. This is what Florence Scovel Shinn meant when she said, "Infinite Spirit is never too late. It always knows the way, and it always arrives under grace, in perfect timing. You've given the order, you've held the vibration. Now there is only one thing left, the final act of release, the final note of surrender, the final breath before morning."